Welcome back to Tigger's Honey Hunt, the finale, because this game is as short as a trout.
Mama,
Oh no, sorry. Sorry, Roo. I like this loading screen image. Reminds me of Calvin and Hobbes, with the sledding that they do. Even though this is more like belly tobogganing, but close enough. Yeah, so I'll probably talk more about various Pooh movies at the beginning of this one, but first let's listen to Owl.
To gain extra height.
Is this the Super Duper Alley-Ooper Bally-Ooper Bounce? I'm pretty sure that's not what it's called, but it's been too long since I've seen the Tigger movie, so I don't remember the exact name. Yeah. I did have sort of a failed recording with this one, so I'm going to try again, and I kind of know what I'm getting into, but yeah, so here we got... If you hold down the button, Tigger does this little bouncy motion, and whenever you let go of the button, after aiming, he launches into the air. It reminds me a lot of the eggs that launch you into the air in Yoshi's Story, if you know what I'm talking about. If you played the game, then there's a good chance you know exactly what I mean. But yeah, I probably should have shown this earlier, but whenever you press that button, that same button that does this, at any earlier point in the game, Tigger just kind of cowers in fear and goes, so I'll have shown a clip of that probably. Oh yeah, and he has idle animations. I haven't shown those off yet, I'm pretty sure. So if you just sit still for a moment, very difficult for Tigger. He shadow boxes, not very effectively since his shadow is underneath him. And then he uses his tail as a cane. Just kind of randomly stiffens part of his tail. I don't know how that works. Especially since usually his tail is as limp as the ears of a lop-eared rabbit. Then again, I guess sometimes he coils up his tail into a spring to bounce, so maybe it's not that weird that his tail has, like, selective molecular density. Yeah, so last time I talked about the Tigger movie, I'll probably talk a little bit more about various Pooh movies in this one, because it just seems like the logical next step before I continue my chronological tales of my Pooh experiences. After this cutscene with Owl again. He really just shows up all the time. This is like a Zelda game.
I say, a turtle!
Oh yeah! Turtle hype!
Telling me once about
I looked over at my sound waves, my audio recording. That might have clipped. I'm not sure, because I turned up the sensitivity on my microphone, because my friends, or at least one of my friends, told me that my voice was kind of quiet during a Discord call. So I turned up the sensitivity, and I don't think I turned it back down, so hopefully this recording will sound okay. I didn't really do any test recordings, so if this whole series turned out bad, then apologies. But that's just how it be. That was quite the fall there. Thankfully, Tigger does not have fall damage. He's used to falling from great heights, I guess. That's the nature of the bounce. So yeah, in terms of various... Oh man. I think I could have made that jump, I just didn't quite do it. I just don't know which jump to use. The vertical or the horizontal. Sometimes the vertical seems like it might be better for the horizontal than the vertical. Or than the horizontal. Words. Don't mind me. But yeah, I'm just trying to think through the different Pooh movies that I have and haven't seen. I haven't seen any of the live-action ones. Mostly because those feel fake. Like they don't exist. Obviously they do, but I don't know. In my mind, Pooh is explicitly and exclusively animated. So anything live-action, in my mind, just feels like corporate Disney trying to make a few extra bucks off of Pooh, which might not be accurate to the motivation behind those movies. I'm not really sure. That's just how they feel to me, just from an outside perspective. But, yeah. So here's the cave where Pooh's umbrella is. I definitely remember where the umbrella is, thanks to spending forever looking for it whenever I was a kid playing this game. This cave is really pretty, by the way. I like the colors, I like the waterfall, the lighting, the atmosphere. It's really nice. I feel like I would take pictures of Pokemon here, like in Pokemon Snap. It's too bad the view is ruined by this stupid-looking derpy Tigger. And there's a Woozle also, but the Tigger is just so funny-looking. And there's another one over here, I'm pretty sure, yeah. Yeah, they both have, like, rubber hose arms. I was gonna say they looked like amateur cave paintings, but that's sort of redundant, because any cave painting from prehistoric times was amateur by default, because painting didn't exist before then, as a concept. So, you know, I'll cut them some slack. They invented the medium. But yeah, let's return this bumbershoot, this parapluie, to Pooh. I'm just taking some risky jumps, some leaps of faith. Pooh looks so sad without his umbrella.
I found your umbrella! Oh, thank you.
What's that noise that Tigger makes sometimes? Because he makes that noise in the cartoons as well. But I don't understand it. That's like... I don't know, that's like the equivalent of hubba hubba. That's the kind of noise that is. Or like a cat call. Okay, my mind just went places. So I've recently watched The Simpsons again. Like I watched the first 4 seasons a while back, or more accurately, I rewatched them because I watched them as a kid, but I'm going back through them now. And I started back on season 5 and 6, and I just finished watching the episode where Homer is falsely accused of sexual harassment. I'm just imagining Tigger in that same situation, like a Winnie the Pooh episode where that is the premise. That'd be, Never mind. Alright. So, anyway, Pooh movies. I think the only animated Pooh movies that I haven't seen at this point are Pooh's Heffalump movie, which my friend says is really good, and he watched it and it made him happy, and it also made him cry, which is interesting because most of the time movies do not make him cry. But there's that, and there's also Pooh's Heffalump Halloween movie, which I didn't even know existed until yesterday. Hopping off the turtle. It's fitting, I guess, that we're hopping across turtles in this game like we're in Frogger, because that is another game in which the main character bounces everywhere.
Let's see how many honeypots you've collected.
How many
thus far on
honeypots?
this level.
Yeah, whenever you get 100, you get a little rabbit photo, which I think that turns into a different picture in the photo album in the main menu. Like, there's a photo album that you can look at in the main menu, and you unlock more pictures depending on what you do in the game. So you do get something for getting everything, but I don't know if it's really worth the trouble. Tigger, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. This is such a strange title for a level to me. Because usually, I mean, Winnie the Pooh is such a self-contained property that rarely, if ever, references anything else. So it's just weird seeing a blatant reference to Narnia here. Nope. Sorry. Sorry, you ruffians, you'll have to dance elsewhere. Hair itched. Had to scratch. But, yeah, in terms of Winnie the Pooh movies that I can talk about because I've seen them, there's Piglet's Big Movie, which I don't remember whether I watched that in Texas or in Mississippi, which is where we moved to next after the first 11 years of my life. I don't remember. What I do remember is that we rented it from Blockbuster Video, because Blockbuster was still a thing back then. And, ooh, okay, I wasn't sure if I would make that jump. I remember watching it and finding the movie sweet, but very predictable. Even back when I watched it, it felt super predictable to me. despite my, I don't know, my modest age. But also, I remember going back to the Blockbuster video whenever we were returning the movie and seeing Piglet's Big Game. And I thought, huh, that's interesting. I think Roo is around here somewhere, but I don't remember exactly where he is, so I'm kind of, like, paying extra attention. But yeah, I remember wanting to play Piglet's Big Game because we had just seen the movie, and I think it's kind of interesting, actually, that they call it Piglet's Big Game instead of calling it Piglet's Big Movie the Game like other movies to games would do. So that's a point in its favor. It's cute how they do it, too. They have Piglet's Big Movie, the logo, and then they cross out the word movie and replace it with game. It's kind of funny.
Well, good morning, Tigger dear. If you see my little
Okay.
Roo, would you
I forgot that the goal was to look for Roo. I didn't realize that I would see Kanga first. I thought that I was supposed to find Roo and then give him something. Just misremembering that. Anyway, I didn't play Piglet's Big Game at the time. It just didn't really seem worth renting. But I did eventually play it, I think last year. And the reason that I played it was not because of nostalgia. It wasn't like, oh, that's the game that got away, I gotta try it now. It was more because it was a game that people had talked about because of this song in the soundtrack that sounded like it came from Silent Hill. There's this weirdly uncharacteristically creepy song in the soundtrack. And it sounds like it came from Silent Hill because that's not that far off from the truth. Apparently the developers of the game wanted to make the game a Silent Hill for kids. That was actually basically the mindset behind the development. So the game sort of, at least sometimes, feels like, oh, there's a... I didn't even know that was there. Is there anything higher up than that? Let me actually go up here a little. Come on. One more time. Okay, no, it looks like this is the ceiling. But yeah, it's... Some parts of the game kind of feel like a psychological horror game, because the premise is that Piglet is going around overcoming his fears or whatever, which isn't exactly what the premise of the movie was, but they often took creative liberties with movie games because they didn't actually have the whole plot of the movie when they were developing the game most of the time, because they were trying to release both at once, and Disney wouldn't share all the details, and movies in general wouldn't share all the details with their game development people. But anyway. Yeah, so I did try the game, and I don't really think I got to any of the horrific parts, because the beginning was frankly really boring, and I didn't think it was particularly well designed. It was like a really unintuitive adventure game where it was hard to tell what led to what, just how to progress in general. It was also odd because it had no music during that part. I get that the parts that are supposed to be scary or unnerving would work fine without music, because it's like, it feels like there should be music there, but oh no, there's not. But the beginning of the game doesn't feel like it's supposed to be scary, and it feels more like the music is just missing because they left out a file or something. I don't know. Is there anything down here? Okay, yeah. I wasn't sure. And this is the final level, by the way. Just kind of cruising through. But, yeah. Piglet's Big Game. It's such a weird time in Disney's history. But if we're going through the movies that I watched and the stories that I have to tell chronologically throughout my life, I think the next thing to cover would be rewatching The Many Adventures of Winnie the Pooh whenever I was a teenager in Mississippi. Because even though I have already mentioned having seen The Many Adventures of Winnie the Pooh, which there's got to be a shorter title for that. That's way too long to say. Am I missing a pot? I feel like I'm missing a pot. I might end this level with one short pot. I didn't think that sentence through before I said it. Being one pot short is what I meant. Oh well, if it happens, it happens. I'm not gonna turn this into a Banjo-Kazooie situation where I spend forever looking for that one note. But yeah, I rewatched The Many Adventures of Winnie the Pooh whenever I was a teenager, and that was very memorable to me because I didn't have a word for nostalgia back then. I didn't really know what it was. It wasn't a concept that was familiar to me, and whenever I tried to describe it, I used basically every word except nostalgia, because again, it just wasn't in my vocabulary. But whenever I rewatched The Many Adventures of Winnie the Pooh, I can say confidently now, that is the most nostalgia I have ever felt. It was so concentrated that it was overflowing. And I will never relive that high. Man, what is with these hitboxes? I feel like I jump on them and then I die. Is it their wings? Are their wings damaging? I don't know. Oh well. I do remember this level being the trickiest of the game, which makes sense because it is the last level. The last main level anyway. But oddly enough, not the hardest part of the game. If the next part after this is what I remember it being, or if I remember it being... If my memory of its difficulty is accurate, then that's the worst part of the game, but we'll find out soon, I guess. Stupid bat. Alright, we're past that now. What's going on here? Does this, like, tilt and... It doesn't move. Do I just bounce? Whoa. Am I waiting for a moving platform? No, I don't know what that was. That was odd. Anyway. Yeah, so back to The Many Adventures of Winnie the Pooh. I remember that the part that stuck out to me as the biggest, whoa, I didn't realize this as a kid moment was Trespasser's Will. There's the part where Piglet is talking about the sign next to his house that says Trespasser's Will and the sign is broken, and his explanation for it is Trespasser's Will. That's short for Trespasser's William. He was my father or grandfather. I don't remember what relative Trespasser's Will supposedly is, but I never thought anything of it as a kid. I just thought, you know, trespassers is just a normal word. Whatever. But I realize as an adult that chances are that broken sign used to say trespassers will be shot. Which... That is wild for frickin' Winnie the Pooh. Man, that is actually a tricky jump. That's tricky to me now. Some very specific timing. Anything up here? Got some more woozles. Oh, okay, that was Brambles. Didn't realize it was Brambles, but there we go. I'm rambling about Bramblin' now. Since I'm in my Mississippi years with my storytelling, that means that I'm at the phase of my life where I made a lot of Flash movies with friends on alternate accounts on Newgrounds, and I am just failing at all these jumps now. Maybe I'm bad at this kids game. But, yeah, one of my friends, actually the friend who designed Viz for Riddle School 5, which somebody recently asked me what the lines on Viz's mouth are, and those are supposed to be stitches. I didn't animate them as stitches, because I didn't know that they were supposed to be stitches. Oh, hello, Pooh.
Is there anyone out there that can help me? Please?
Can I actually help him? Oh, this is probably a cutscene.
What Tigger's do best to.
That was the wimpiest bounce I've ever seen. Sorry, I'm just watching this cutscene, because this is a part of the game that I don't remember very well. Do I go back up? Is this a place I can enter? Yeah, okay. Interesting. What was it talking about now? Oh, yeah. Somebody asked about Viz's design. Oh, this is an interesting little location. And I didn't animate the lines on his mouth as stitches, because I didn't realize that's where they were supposed to be, but that's where they were supposed to be. And don't ask me what in-universe explanation there is for their mouths to have stitches that weren't animated as stitches, because I have no idea. I don't even know why he added stitches to the design in the first place, but that's how they were. That's how it was. I didn't question it. I just went with it. So there you go. But anyway, this same friend, I made an animation with him called Pooh, It Had to Be Done. And I don't remember exactly what happened in that animation. It's probably still on Newgrounds, honestly, and that's embarrassing if it is, but oh well. We made Pooh, It Had to Be Done, and the basic idea was that Piglet was part of this group of assassins who are all banding together and just kind of talking in this little anonymous group. And then Piglet is tasked with assassinating Pooh. And so he, like, gets out a sniper rifle and you see him aiming the rifle at Pooh and then shooting, and then it's basically implied that Pooh is dead and he's just dead on the ground, and then there's this cliffhanger where Piglet walks away sadly, I think is what happens, and then you see Pooh and his dead body, and then he just wakes up suddenly, and then he's, oh. And, it used the Don Weezo music from Conker's Bad Fur Day, which both of us were pretty heavily influenced by Conker's Bad Fur Day at the time. And this is nice. Go through that whole dark, dismal section, and then all of a sudden you have this nice autumn view. Very nice. But yeah, we never made a second Pooh, It Had to Be Done, but we were going to, and the second one would have involved Pooh as a, like, green rotting zombie with his stuffing falling out, coming back into the 100-acre wood and killing everybody, including Piglet. And I remember there being lines, like, stupid one-liners, like, I think Piglet was gonna say something like, "I don't care, bear." It was so stupid. And the main reason that I never finished that animation was because the file corrupted. But yeah, I just have always kind of found, I guess, innocent characters juxtaposed with really not innocent concepts to be amusing. Maybe not in every situation, but stuff like that where it's just gratuitous violence. Hence my drawings of gored open Pooh and Piglet. You know, you get the idea. But yeah, there was that animation, and there was also, my brother and I made an animation that I just called Daryl for some reason. I don't know why I called it Daryl. I think I just wanted there to be a really misleading title. But it was the Tigger song, you know, the wonderful thing about Tiggers, because Tiggers are wonderful things. He decided to voice his own version of the song, where I edited it so that the regular song played, but the lines were replaced with the stuff that he said in his deadpan voice. So the song goes as follows.
The wonderful thing about chiggers is chiggers. The wonderful things! Their tops are made out of chitin. Their bottoms are made out of proteins. They're bouncy, trouncy, flouncy, pouncy, itchy, skin-burrowing arthropods. But the most wonderful thing about chiggers is I'm the only one. I'm the only one.
I'll probably just insert the actual sound. To tell you the truth, I feel like I kind of need to focus on this part, because this rock, paper, scissors game, this is the hardest part of the game. And what you have to do is quickly react to what Owl picks, and then pick what will win. I think it gets harder in future rounds, because that first one's pretty easy, but then the reaction time is a lot less on later ones, I think. There's a point where I think it might just be almost luck. Yeah, paper and paper.
No.
I like the stupid Chigger song. Oh, that was Rock and Rock. Thinking back on my animation, the Pooh It Had to Be Done thing, that reminds me. Okay, so Pooh, Blood and Honey. I gotta talk about that movie. That's definitely not an official Disney Winnie the Pooh movie, but Winnie the Pooh Blood and Honey, I watched that whenever it came out. I didn't watch it in theaters, but I watched it not too long after it came out, and I did get scissors, dang it. He is almost won already. Okay, focus. I don't want to sacrifice my commentary, though. Okay, that time worked, I think. Anyway, I watched Blood and Honey because I really liked the idea of that movie. Because if you know anything about copyright law, which I'm not a lawyer, so I don't know a whole lot, but dang it, I got the rock and he did the paper. Frick!
No.
Thanks a lot, Bowel. Alright, well, we're gonna have to do that a few more times, I think. Anyway. If you know anything about copyright law and such, you might know that the whole reason that it takes so freaking forever for intellectual properties to enter the public domain, it's because of Disney. It's because of Disney trying really, really hard to protect the rights to Steamboat Willie. Oh, we have to watch this cutscene again, I guess. I can't skip it. They found a workaround where they incorporated Steamboat Willie into the logo of their studio, so whenever you see the opening in certain Disney movies where it shows the frames of Steamboat Willie, that's their way of getting around that and being like, yep, we still own this. Haha, suckers! Yeah. Disney might be a little bit corrupt. Just a little bit. But anyway. Yeah, I always thought that the idea of a really grotesque, like, slasher, thrasher, horror kind of film made with the Winnie the Pooh characters, I thought that would be such a great way of, like, sticking it to the man. Like, oh, you thought that you could win? Well, this is what you get for being so cruel to public domain for so long. And then I watched it, and, Blood and Honey is by far the worst movie I've ever watched. And not even in a funny way. It's just bad. It's just bad. Oh, you saw that, right? You saw Owl. He switched at the last second. You can't trust this stupid bird. I could list the reasons that Blood and Honey is bad. I don't think it really needs to be explained, though. It's a bad movie. It's slow, it's uncomfortable for all the wrong reasons, it's borderline pornographic. In fact, I actually watched the movie with some friends of mine, and one of them, who knows more about the dirtier side of the internet than I do, said that there was this woman in the movie who was tied up, and he said, oh, those are actually bondage knots. I'm like, oh, that checks out, sadly. No, I didn't want to pick the rock. Frick, man. This is going to be a long video. I watched the Winnie the Pooh movie from 2011, which I'm pretty sure is just called Winnie the Pooh, and I don't know. I liked it okay. It felt like an admirable effort to recapture the spirit of older Winnie the Pooh movies, but I don't think it quite made the cut. It came close, but something about it felt a little bit off. Like the charm wasn't entirely genuine. And I also don't think all the voices quite matched. Not all of them could, but I think Eeyore was Bud Lucky, who also voiced Chuckles in Toy Story 3, and I think that was a good casting, but yeah. I feel like this is luck. I feel like this might as well just actually be regular rock, paper, scissors, and not reactionary rock, paper, scissors, because it's so specific. What happens if I stick with scissors here? Okay, so he changed to paper, while I had scissors. Maybe that's the strategy. Maybe you just stick with whatever he already has, and then you win. Let's try this strategy. That seems to have worked. Is that it? Is that all you do? Well, if that's it, then that's way easier than I thought it was. Jeez. Now I'm embarrassed to have played that 3 times in a row. Well, yeah, we're just gonna have a Super Mario RPG finale-length finale for this 3-part series, I guess. This game has a great ending, by the way.
The party!
The party!
Lest we go and ask Christopher Robin for his help.
I'm gonna stop everything that I was saying, because we gotta watch this ending. I'm assuming that there's gonna be credits afterwards. I don't actually know, but I'm hoping that there will be.
Hello, Tigger.
Hello, Christopher Robin. Pooh Bear was gonna have a big party for all his friends, but he didn't have enough pots of honey. I tried to help collect more pots, but he ate them all up already.
Yeah.
So now we don't have
The entire adventure was pointless.
Don't worry, Tigger. I know
All those
how to
pots of honey that we collected, which you can collect a total of 600, by the way.
Like big cakes with lots
No matter
of
what,
ice.
he will have eaten all of them. And then they just make other food instead, and it's all okay. But yeah, I'm just imagining, like, between the level that we just played and this ending,
We dedicate
I just imagine that Pooh
this
ate
to for restoring
600 gallons of honey.
Tigger for making it all possible. Well done, Tigger.
Tigger didn't do this part. Like, the actual resolution that they settled on, Tigger had nothing to do with. The whole game is pointless. It's pretty great. Entirely negated by the ending. Oh, is there no credits? Okay. Whatever you say. There's also time trials. I'm not going to do the frickin' time trials. I'm going to look around and see if there's any credits. Alright, well, I'm going to try to squeeze in the last of my Winnie the Pooh related stories here. So, in high school, which was also in Mississippi, well, we had vocabulary words that we covered every week, and what I liked to do as kind of a fun little bonus thing in class was I would do these word puns. I would draw these word puns on the board, and one of our vocabulary words in high school, this was in my private high school, was ameliorate, which basically means to improve or to lessen the negative effect of. That's what ameliorate means. And so the word pun that I drew on the board was a picture of Eeyore next to an empty plate of food, and I had an arrow pointing to the plate. The pun, of course, being, if you haven't figured it out already, a meal Eeyore ate. I was pretty happy with that one. That was the best pun that I came up with the whole time that I was there. I will also... Oh man. So it was during my failed Yoshi's Island Let's Play that I discovered that I could do a decent Winnie the Pooh voice. And, of course, I made that Winnie the Pooh animation that's just called Pooh on the main channel where he says, "I also enjoy, setting people on fire as a sacrifice." But also, I sent this clip to a friend of mine on Discord.
Hello there, my name is Pooh Bear, and I'm not a racist. No, there was going to be more. There was going to be more to the joke. But never mind. We're good. That's enough.
Then I later followed it up with this.
Oh, hello there. My name is Pooh Bear, and I'm not racist. Well, except for that one time, and that other 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 time, and I think that's it. Just those 61 times.
And with that, thank you all for watching. and I will see you in whatever we do next. This is the weirdest play. I mean, I don't know if this is the weirdest playthrough I've ever done. It's got to be up there, though.